Hello and welcome to the Nonsense Chronicles. This is Doug Sashery, and as always, I am joined by
Rob Mendiola.
Good day to you, Rob.
Good day, Doug.
You know, I come in here and,
It's a madhouse.
well, usually Rob sometimes he's worked his way to the studio early, but
I tried to.
Today was not one of those days.
Not one.
I had to drag him out of doing work, and
Yeah.
as soon as I leave studio, he will run to the other part of the house
He'll be back to
and
work.
get back to work. That's him. That's him,
Good
people.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to be wanted and have a skill set that people love.
These groceries aren't cheap these days,
No, they're not.
So you gotta work extra hard.
And Mama needs a new back porch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't even want to talk about that.
yeah, no, that's another subject.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just us today. We're riffing. We had good feedback on the first NCAA podcast we did.
The gaming for the football.
Yes, yes, my non-gaming friend.
Yeah.
The
I'm trying to follow you on that.
EA College Football 25. We did a podcast on that with our buddy Victor Vasquez of Fairdale Kings.
Nice.
Fairdale,
He's been gracious to
he does, and
sit with 2 podcasts for us already.
that's right. He does he does his own stuff on YouTube, and he's got a good following. And this is a guy that, like I said, we've talked about him before. He's done so much for that gaming community, and then they had 11-year break. Now he's back, and so much so that tonight, which not tonight because you're hearing this podcast now, but we're actually releasing a second interview we did with him, and
Part 2.
Part 2.
So why the 11-year
There
pause,
was a
delay?
Okay, everybody heard of, not you, but everybody else, the sports people heard of Ed O'Bannon. He played for UCLA basketball. That he ended up playing in pros for a number of years. Yeah, decent career. Well, he said he didn't want his likeness used in a college game. They had a college basketball game too, but nothing like the following of the football. They had a couple. EA made one, and 2K Sports made a game. Well, before that was even done, and people noticed that one a lot first, but it was a guy named Sam Keller. He was quarterback at Arizona State. He got injured, and a guy named Carpenter ended up taking his place at quarterback. Keller transferred to Nebraska. Didn't go great for him over there, but he had some skill, but it just didn't work out really that much for him. But he was the one as far as college football, and he was the first before O'Bannon to complain that, hey, my likeness is you. Now, to me, they could have. I didn't give a damn what. They looked all the same. Nobody looked exactly like anybody anyhow. They could all look the same. I wouldn't have given a rat's what. But we could put names of any name on the back of the shirt, But he complained about it, so
So it created a legal issue then.
it created a legal issue.
I got you. Okay.
And then regardless
that
of
sucks.
regardless, a lot of people dude, that was a gut punch
Yeah.
for a lot of gamers because this is one of the biggest game. It's
So
bigger than me.
where's that person now?
Yeah, didn't do too much after that.
Yeah.
But, they wanted he if you want to look at it, he was a trailblazer, but for others. But what when you get legal issues, then people start backing off.
You
Companies
scare
start scaring people off. So but look, eventually it led to players getting NIL, name, image, and likeness.
Yeah, number of athletes now.
Yeah, a ton of them do, in all sports, But so it took a while. And then EA figured out a way they could come back and do it safely if they had everything worked out with the players and everything else, and they finally did. So that got done, and then So now we're at the point where they're going to release again. Thank God, man, because that game was so beloved.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's 11
Just
years
showed
of
all
my
you
life
maniacs.
I lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Well, cool. I'm glad it's coming back for you.
Yeah, I am too. And speaking of which, Vic did get to go down to EA Orlando last week, and he went down on Friday, and he he can't talk about the trip so much that that's a good thing. He had to sign confidential agreement, so he can't let anything out there. But I know when he went in, like before he could even get in, put his head in the door, somebody comes and it's locked down. I know a couple other places like that. Yeah, that's definitely one, especially with a couple, with Madden coming out. But he got to tour around, and I'm glad for him because he's done a lot to support.
Yeah, it seems like that's rite of passage for him.
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah, I mean he's earned it. He did a lot to support that game over the years. And
he's still doing.
Yeah, he's back at it. Yeah,
pushing it again.
Yeah, and what's good is the technology's come along. So now his videos and everything else, he's putting out shorts and he's doing podcasts. They're great, man. If you
that just helps sell the product. So
yeah, and like I said, if you
can't hate him for that.
No, if you like that game or you want to know anything about it, go to Fairdale Kings. Look up Fairdale Kings on YouTube, and you will get a ton of information. He'll break it down, what he can talk about. Now he will break down stuff that's already out there, but he has a good ear on it and a good eye on what he's seen out there and what's been released already. And
that release date.
It's the 19th of July.
19th? Okay.
It'll be early access, I think, is the 16th.
Okay.
Which I have, like I said, but I'll be traveling, But
I'll be on tour.
Yeah, I got it just in case there was something happened. Yeah, because I'd hate to be back home and then I gotta wait 2 more days. It would just eat me up alive. But because when I'm traveling, I'm gonna be like, how long till I get home? How long till I get home?
Yeah.
Hurry up, Rob. Get back to the airport. It's time to go. But no,
first world problems.
Yes. But so I was glad Vic got to do that tour. And,
that's pretty cool.
That's a nice little jump for him. And also we
and once that comes out and y'all kind of get your hands on it, then we'll do another podcast with him, right?
Yeah, I think so too. And I think a thing about that is we don't know a lot right now on, like in the past on the pro game, you had you get updates on most games, and that includes pro Madden football and on the basketball, MLB The Show. They will give you updates like changes in a player's abilities or whatever, or something new at a stadium, just anything. They'll add little nicks and things. We get to see that wasn't a possibility in college football before because they couldn't add certain things. They couldn't go past a certain line. Well, now it's wide open. So, we'll see what happens on that and if any change. But, Vic will be right on that, and now he has relationships with people over there. So that's really good for the community. It's good for them. It's good for EA, but it's also good for the gamers as well. So
you'll have to invite me out to watch you play with the joysticks or whatever.
You can, just don't talk to me.
What it's called.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it's fine. We'll definitely do that. My son got me on. He came over this weekend, and we were setting up some for the videos I do when I'm cooking.
Yeah.
And we have a little page right now on Nonsense Chronicles on YouTube, and also on my personal. I'm on Instagram. I'm Doug Sashry on Instagram, and I'll share some videos from there. But I'll also put some on my. I had a lot of music and other stuff on there, but I started putting more food stuff. So, but my son is in film school at U of H, and he's going to graduate. I think in spring. I think he'll have one class like in spring they'll have to take. But I said, hey, why not take advantage of education that I've paid for? But that I've invested in him, and then let him play a little bit and
No, it's a
do
great
some
opportunity for him.
Yeah, I think so too. So I'm having him. He's got something running. He brought in some light. He got me to order some lights and what else did we get? Some tripods, some different stuff. So we're playing with that now, and we shot some on Saturday, but immediately as soon as we started doing it, he immediately wanted another tripod with a little angle stuff, so it can be a little bit more versatile and some overhead stuff. So he's already, it's got a boom on it. Yeah, he's already changing. I said, well, we can shoot this and we can get better as we go, you know. But it's I think that's pretty cool. So we got that going, and I will. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll link you to also the YouTube page on some of that stuff, on just some simple recipes. We're gonna do one on crawfish etouffee. Now back home, I've said this story before. Musicians come in and they'll stay at the house when they're touring, and there's a lot of 2 a.m. meals, and I'll
naturally
by the time everything gets broken down and they get out to my house, it's I'm looked at it as a magician, but in reality, I always say that I'm like Superman until I go across the Sabine River into Louisiana. Then I'm like stepping on Krypton, like Superman stepping on Krypton. I'm just like everybody else. All my powers are going away. No, everybody else in South Louisiana cooks like this. But stuff like a crawfish etouffee, which people love, it's one of the easiest dishes in the world. I mean, it's not much more than boiling hot dogs. I mean, it's a little bit more intricate than that, but it's so easy, man. That's the easiest thing I do.
What is that? The shrimp and rice and stuff, or what?
Oh yeah, crawfish or shrimp and rice. You can do crawfish etouffee or shrimp etouffee. You could make etouffee out of crab meat. You could do whatever you want, but it is so easy.
I don't know.
I know.
I've never cooked this out.
That's why I do.
I might have eaten it before. I'm not sure.
Well, that's why I do these videos.
That's right.
It's a little simple. And then, so anyhow, we worked on that and talking about streaming and stuff also in my work-related world, which is Tony Sashery's
Spice
Creole seasoning, we're dealing with, we have food influencers out there. We have musicians that we're working with. But we're also looking, and we're just jumping into looking for gaming streamers. So if you're a gaming streamer, especially on Twitch, that would be, and you've got a good following, that's an important thing too. Might be interested in talking to you. You can reach out to me on Instagram as well. And like I said, that's Doug Sashery, CHACHERE, on Twitch. I mean, no, I'm on Twitch, but Instagram's the easiest way to catch me. But we are looking for some gaming streamers. So it's a weird new world that we live in right now.
Yeah,
and
so that's just to help spread your marketing.
Yeah, that's good for the ads are not just on TV these days. They're
right. I mean, everybody's on their device.
No, I mean,
so
the biggest thing
social media.
I think it started last year at the NFL draft. Maybe it was the year before, where they don't do it in the first round, but there's 7 rounds that in the second or third round, you'll see now the Kansas City Chiefs make a pick, and picking for the Chiefs will be blah, blah, blah streamer. I'm like, what the influencer? I'm like, what the hell kind of world do we live in? How this is happening? But it's
modern.
It is what it is, you know? And that's just part of it, man.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, good luck on that.
Yeah,
I'm sure you'll get some hits.
Yeah. It's been fun. So I met a lot of people, shook a lot of hands. That's why we do things like go around the country and shake hands.
That's why we go on tour.
That's right. Speaking of which, we've got July coming up, and we are going out to me and Rob and Spring, his wife. We're going out to Gettysburg Bike Week, which I've never been to Gettysburg, which that'll be great because I'm a history nerd.
Same here.
Yeah, and it's they'll have some great bands. Drowning Pool will be there. Scotty Austin, you know, it'll be fun to see our friends out there playing. It'll be fun to go out and look at all that history, you know. And
the Almas are going to be out there too.
Yeah, they are going to be out there. 7 years ago.
Yeah.
No, that's right. Yeah, but yeah. So it'll be great to go out there, and we'll go out there. And in fact, I think I'm probably going to bring. I'll probably bring some lanyards with me and some koozies, and meet some of our customers out on the road.
We're going to drag out the podcast gear.
I don't know, man. I don't think we're going to do that out there.
Okay.
But I think we can get some video to put on the YouTube.
Cool.
Yeah, the YouTube page. I think that'd be a good idea.
Sure.
And then when you fly, I think we definitely get some good video. And when you fly back, I'll jump in Columbus, Ohio. I'll stop and see family real quick.
Yeah.
Probably hit another presidential museum up in. They got some around just south of Cleveland. They have two more that I haven't hit. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I could do the old 45-minute pop in there. And I'm going to go from there. Going to go back up to Flint, Michigan to the machine shop again and see our friends there. I love Kevin Zink and his team. I mean, they are butt crack. Yeah, those guys are just, they're great. Everybody there, I love their team, and they are so welcoming, and it is a music mecca. It is one around the country that you have to circle and say, hey, this is one I want to visit.
Yeah.
And it's up in Flint, Michigan, and I'll go there because Drowning Pool's playing that night, and
cool.
Be good. And this will actually be my second trip because I was passing nearby there earlier this year, and I was like, I'm going to go stop by. And they asked me, "You're not staying for the show?" I said, "No, just coming to say hi, and I'm out." Yeah, so typical Doug trip. But I'll do that, and then I'll race home at speeds not known to man, so I can get back and play that college football game. Yeah, so.
Slow and easy, Doug.
Yeah, because it's not a race.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Stay out of that fast lane.
Yeah. But no, got that coming up, and then I was going to talk a little bit. One of the last things we're going to cover today, because we're just us today, is
I see you got a giant bottle of water over there. What's that all about, Doug?
I'm just killing water.
Is that smart water?
It's smart water.
Is it working?
It hadn't helped, man. I just, no matter how much I drink.
Yeah, I quit. I gave up on it.
It just doesn't help.
Yeah.
Now, I try, it's funny. We're going to talk a little bit about health because as of Saturday, I reached my goal weight.
Nice.
Which I'm not sure that, in fact, the way that it turned out, I don't think it's probably going to be the end of the weight loss, but it's the goal weight I had set for myself, which was 71 pounds from what I weighed on a physical I had on November 4th.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people ask me that saw me because they all do, they give me the look. And they asked me, well, how'd you do it? And did you get on the shot? Now, look, I had several friends that got on the, the shot. The
Ozempic or whatever?
Yeah, Ozempic or whatever. Like, I have nothing against that. In fact, I'll tell you.
If it helps, it helps.
No, but the story is, I went in to have my yearly physical like I always do, and I told my doctor all my numbers were good. They do blood work and all that, and doctor, I told him, I said, man, working out, because I've never been shy of working out, and I stay pretty active, and he said, I told him, I said, man, I'm just not dropping the weight, it's bouncing within about 8 pounds. It just stays within there. He said, well, have you thought about the shot? I was like, and my insurance would not cover it. But I could have got a compound, which is the same thing. I've done a compound med before. Local pharmacy, I do a compound med. And I was going to do that. They prescribed it for me. I went home. Started having a little stomach pain. Everything was fine at the physical, though. I went to sleep. I think I slept about 45 minutes. Then I woke up with what felt like an alien chest burster trying to come from, like, my rib cage, the whole, where it connects to the stomach, the whole circle. It just hurt so bad. little bit of pain radiating on the backside. I was like, God. Now look, I knew I wasn't having a heart attack. My heart is in great shape. I did a test a couple of years ago, and then of course I just physical. It was great, but I ended up pacing for about an hour and a half, and it just would not go away. I was sweating, not the rest of my body, but my forehead was just dripping with sweat. And finally, I had to wake my wife up and said, "Hey, I think, like a typical guy, I wait to the last minute."
Right, absolutely.
I think about 2 a.m. I woke up and said, "Babe, I think I need to go to the ER."
Yeah.
And so we did. We went to.
I usually wait till Life Flight has to come get me.
Yeah, that's last minute there. Yeah, but it would have been. We went down to a local, ER by itself, and it wasn't bad at all. They pretty much got in to see me. I got in real quick, and they asked me a lot of questions, and then they let me drink something. Oh man, and thank God they did. Let me tell you, they were like my best friend in the world. It was like the somebody drunk and hugging the toilet after they'd thrown up for, swearing that they'll never drink.
What did they let you drink?
I'm not even sure to this day. Yeah, but whatever it was, it calmed that pain down. Took about 10 minutes for it to work, but boy, once it did, oh my God! So they ran me through. I was hoping it wouldn't be the tunnel because I'm claustrophobic.
Yeah.
I prefer not to, but I wouldn't have cared what it was at the
You
time.
do what you gotta do.
But they ran me through instead the Stargate, which I've never seen that. No, I have seen that movie now in its completion.
One that just turns.
Well, yeah, but no, but it's
scan.
Yeah, but it's like an arch, and you go underneath it. They roll you through, then roll you back. Yeah, then they roll you through and roll you back again.
Yeah,
I think you got to hold your breath or something.
Right.
I can't remember, but it turned out I had 2 gallstones.
Nice.
Yeah, well, and it could have been worse. I mean, it could have been a ton of them, but and they ran a couple bags of fluid through me. Said, I had to see a gastrologist after.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I go to see a gastrologist. It took almost 2 weeks to get that appointment, but I got what I needed. So I was eating real, real careful. I didn't want to. I did some reading on it, and I was scared.
It's usually a diet issue that
it is
results in the stones, right?
So it is, and I went. And I asked the gastrologist, she goes, "Hey, you got a fatty liver?" I'm like, "What the?" So
Too much Whataburger.
yeah, probably so. And so what I did was I asked her, "So okay, well, what about the shot?" She goes, "Oh, it's a great idea because it'll get the rest of you in health, in better health in your body." I said, "Okay." But I just told you, and I did tell her a second ago, I'm trying not, because it was only 2 stones, and I may have to, and most people do, including somebody that's in this house that's not here right now, have had the gallbladder surgery. I'm trying not to have mine out. I only had a couple stones. I asked her, I said, "Will that shot trigger that gallbladder?" She said it could. That's all I needed to basically hear. I was like, well, I guess I'm going the natural way. So, yeah, every pound I lost.
Side effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could trigger that, just spasm up. So, I mean, because you're giving yourself a shot in the stomach, so what I ended up doing was I said, well, I'll do it natural. Now, let me tell you, I've worked out for years, and I've put on this weight gradually since my later 20s up into now. And I even weighed heavier than I weighed when I started this. But I had really never changed my diet that much. But I got serious. Now, look, I had a Fitbit before, and it tracked some meals. No. Somebody got me onto an app called Lose It, and it's worth like $30-something a year, and it tracks, instead of 100,000, it tracks over like 300-something thousand foods. Any restaurant, like, so you go Caesar salad at blah blah blah, and it has what they put in it. It has their menu, and it has what it put. The calories, the macro and micronutrients that go into it. Your fat, your fiber, and your protein.
All dietary information, data.
Which is very important. And it's been so damn easy. I started losing. I set a goal for myself. Like, you could go slow on anything or whatever you want. I set a goal for myself a little bit more advanced. Like, I only wanted like 2,000. I set up what I wanted, and they set the goal at like 2,100 or something like that on calories. I want to tell you that I think 2 days ago I ate 2,100 calories for the first time since I've been on this. I've been averaging about 1,600 to 1,800 calories a day. Now it lowered it down once it saw what I was doing, over time. Like it didn't do it right away or anywhere close to that, but over like on the last part of my diet it did. But I found I didn't need it, man. I found plenty of foods that shake that you're on.
It's the magic shake.
Yeah, that shake is
Plant-based.
a plant-based shake. It's fantastic. Good protein in it.
Owen,
yeah, and it doesn't taste like machine oil.
No, it tastes great.
Yeah, it is. In fact, if I want something chocolate, like a craving, I'll go and have that.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it's totally satisfying.
Yeah, it is.
And you burn it off so fast.
Oh God, yeah. Like sushi. But yeah, that's speaking of which, sushi. So what have I been eating? No fried foods. Of course, I've had some soft drinks, but mainly if I'm gonna have a soft drink, it'll be I drink a ton of water, as Rob knows. But I drink. I may have half. I'll open a 16-ounce bottle of Sprite, and I probably won't finish it because like a little 8-ounce bottle, 12-ounce. I'll do it like 2 or 3 days. I just want a sip of something sweet every once in a while. But it's better than the Diet Coke, which I've had some before, but that'll trigger that a lot more. So
and you don't drink alcohol.
No, and
that always helps.
Yeah, I don't drink alcohol, so that's not a problem. But what I've been eating, no fried foods, no fast foods, with the exception of like Chick-fil-A has grilled nuggets. Those 8 nuggets I think cost me 170 calories. So I've done that twice. When had no choice, and that's not bad anyhow. But what I've been mainly eating is a lot of grilled chicken breasts or baked. No skin whatsoever. A lot of fish.
So you just changed your whole diet.
Yeah,
basically.
I eat a lot of fish. I eat a lot cleaner.
Yeah, I eat a lot of fish too.
Clean eating is a lot of what I do now. And I love
staying out of the drive-thrus.
Yes, very much. I wouldn't even know what they look like now. Yeah. I love salmon anyhow.
It's not convenient, but it's good for you.
Yeah, and I love sushi, so I can still good. I can eat sushi all I want. So that's been great. I found out that as far as snacks, I tell you, for me, those chips, which I can't remember the damn name of them, the protein ones, I love those. I saw them at a health club. I did some looking at Amazon. They were a great price, so I ended up buying those. And I will say Popcorn, Indiana, which has a movie theater butter one. Oh, man. A cup of that is like 51 calories. Yeah, so I'll eat like 1 or 2 cups, and then I've picked what I eat, and man, it's worked out perfect for me, man. Those shakes, like it's funny, now if I go somewhere and somebody says, "Hey, you want this?" Well, no, that's like 400 or 500 calories. That's a big part of my day, Because for me, I don't know. For me, and look, there's so many weight loss things out there.
Yeah.
But for what's going to work, I can tell you this: changing the food in your diet definitely is the one thing. You can do this workout. You can do that workout. Yeah. And I've done them all, man. I have stayed active during all this. I work out all the time, and I've done different stuff. And did some kickboxing in the last year, and that's been great because it's changing things up for your body is a really good thing on your workouts. Not doing the same old thing. Walking is great. Just getting your heart rate up to a certain level and then bringing it back down. Getting up again, interval training, that is fantastic. Yeah. And that with kickboxing, I was doing that too because you go like a round and you stop.
Yeah, intermittent.
So that's very good for your heart. And
man, I think everybody knows this stuff.
You think that?
I think they do. It's just hard to just like make yourself do it.
Because people ask me what did it for you, and like
feeling like you're going to die.
Yeah, I said, no, it's really easy. I mean, let me stab you in the stomach with a hot knife that's been under fire for about a month. Yeah, you tell me how hard it is.
It's usually when people get serious about their health.
And look, I would
health scare.
Yeah, I would. Like I said, and that's exactly why I said I'd much rather have those 2 stones than have a stroke or a heart attack. So it's a lesson. And me not having, I've had like 2 attacks since then. One that was I drink now this, I can't remember the damn name of the drink that they gave me. They gave me some spasm medicine, but I never took it. But they gave me the drink. It's this, I mean, you get over the counter over the drink. I forgot what it's called. And it's
like a Tagament or something like that.
well, yeah, it's just a liquid. I forgot the name
Yeah.
of it. But anyhow, it takes about 90 minutes for it to work.
That's a long time.
That is a long time in pain. Because trust me,
Yeah.
in a gallstone attack,
Yeah.
there's no comfortable side position, standing up, sitting down.
Yeah, hour and a half.
No,
sucks.
yeah, that's pain. It's
Yeah.
pain. I had the 9 Left Dead boys in, and they got there just as it was ending.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, and I already cooked for them, thank God, so, but no, it makes losing weight. But the thing about it is it's the food. The food is the answer if you want to lose weight, and there's plenty of. You don't have to starve yourself. I am not starving in any way, shape, or form.
And how do you feel?
I feel good. Like I'm very loose. But look, man, I just turned 58 years old.
That's young, man.
Yeah, I feel great for
Yeah.
but
Still
all
young.
all those beatings and falls and stair falls and all the stupid stuff you did when you were younger. Well, it comes back. Yeah,
You're gonna feel that no matter what.
yeah. And I gotta put more muscle on. That's why I'm making sure I drink my protein because I don't want to lose too much muscle. But
Yeah.
my arms are shrank down so much, especially my shoulders.
Yeah.
And I sleep on my shoulders, so that's a big deal. But let me tell you, if you ever want to lose weight, and like Rob said, everybody knows it, and there's a million people trying to sell you this and that. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just telling you this, what worked for me, and it was food, changing your food. I mean, you can go in a lot of different directions, and exercise is always great. Look, the more exercise you get, the better you're doing for your life in the long run. So, but for me, it was the food. 71 pounds down. I went and I spent money at Men's Warehouse, free advertisement there, early last year. I ended up having to go back and respend, and because I had to get new clothes again. But the new clothes I got in February or whatever, they're already too big. I had to go buy.
You can take clothes in.
Yeah, I know you can. In
one.
fact, I went there and took some in, but there was some stuff I had, like my coats and my suits. There were 4 sizes, man.
Oh, wow.
There was no taking them in. I'm
Yeah.
seeing pant sizes that I haven't seen in God knows how many decades. So, my mom said, "You look like you did in your 20s," and I'm like,
Are you smoking crack?
Yeah, that's when people ask, "How'd you do it?" I'm like, "Oh, meth."
Yeah.
It was meth.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible.
Don't do drugs, people.
Yeah, people, I'm sorry if anybody's going through problems.
Yeah.
But no, man, the clothing. In fact, I've been buying clothing. I went back, the wife and I went back last weekend to get more clothes because, man, just stuff doesn't fit. Even the new dress pants I wore, like, God dang it, man, they're not cheap. Now, the belt I got a belt. The smart thing I did do is I got a belt that adjusts.
Yeah.
And that was one of the best investments I got because the other belts could come and go, but I'm not buying another one of those until I get down to a little bit more stable, and
I like wearing the tactical belts.
yeah, that's
Like
basically
5'11".
what this
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
I think they're cool.
Yeah. And I mean, that's,
And if you ever got to tie anybody up, it'll hold.
Yeah. That's definitely, that'll work too, and, but, that's worked for me.
Well,
So
cool,
like I
man.
said, yeah.
Well, congratulations on meeting your goal.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just don't celebrate with a cheeseburger or something.
That's not going to happen, man.
It becomes so much easier, doesn't it? After you're like doing it and kind of in a routine, it just becomes like natural.
Oh yeah, once I
selection.
got started, once the numbers started, and it's funny. Look, let me tell you, when you're on your journey, and weighing yourself. Another thing too is weighing yourself every morning. I do it every single morning. It's naked, only
It becomes your
watches on, and it's only
become accountable for yourself.
Yeah, it's every day because that way you can tell. Look, there's going to be a day when you lose. You might gain 2 pounds or 1.5. There's going to be some days where your body just fluctuates like that. That's natural. No, but you don't want to lose everything. Don't want to lose muscle. You got to make sure that you're getting your protein in. I think somebody told me the formula was take in as much protein as the weight you want to way at, and I try and get to that. And some days I'm easily can outshoot it. Some days, but rotisserie chicken at a grocery store that they do themselves, I can't tell you how many times just pluck the breast out. See, I'm done. You know, that's I'll eat that. But little Tony Sasher seasoning on it, of course. But
Of course.
but it's but weighing yourself every day is it's important. It tells you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. But man, those numbers just started going, and it didn't matter,
And it's motivation too.
Yeah,
When you see those numbers going down.
Yeah, because I got to I always tell my kids, well, I got to a new decade. Another 10. I got to 10, another 10.
Because at the beginning of that day is when you start making decisions.
Yeah,
about yourself.
It is, and you budget how you're going to eat. And
exactly.
Like the other day, somebody said, well, you can have this. And I can. There's some things I can have now that I reach. Like I may go and have that piece of cake or whatever, but you know what? I'm going to make sure it's a special occasion.
That's my weakness, chocolate cake.
Yeah. See, I saw a piece the other day, but I said, you know what? I'll wait. Yeah. But this has been fun. It's been really a lot of fun getting down to, because a lot of people I met over time never knew me as the thinner version I was before,
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you look on my Facebook, there are some older, thinner pictures, but that was many, many multiples ago, But it's been a fun thing, and
well, that'll just make getting older easier.
That is definitely the case.
Right?
Now, some people tell me keep a little bit of weight on because if you get sick, it helps. But yeah, it'll definitely make that part getting. Because look, man, getting older,
it's tough.
It's got its challenges enough as it is.
Yeah.
I don't need to be carrying another half of me on there, So
exactly.
But
I think you'll keep losing though. I think you will
be the biggest loser.
Probably.
Where'd you go, loser? Yeah, no, I think I can go another 12 pounds at least.
Yeah,
and then we'll see.
I think you'll lose another 20. I think
it's close. If I get, I think I could get there too as well. Because
I mean, if you just project out what you've been doing. By November, you might lose another 15, 20.
We're getting a lot of xylophone action though, man. Where they when they press in my ribs, or when they did when I went for a massage, you had that big gut. You'd move around on that, But now it's just I still have enough of a gut to where they push me. I move a little tiny bit, but it's kind of like a fulcrum, But it's.
I think if you keep on doing it, you'll.
Yeah, it's just
you're gonna lose weight. I mean,
and look, it's diet. Diet is what you eat every day. That's your diet. So this is it's been a.
But then you'll have to probably adjust your calories, so you don't get too thin. Too thin.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure I get my protein, and like I said, it was a lifestyle change, and it's a lifestyle change because I don't know what's coming forward to me. Yeah. I was adopted at about a month old, so it's a roll of the dice, people. But but it's good to do that for yourself because tomorrow's not promised, and invest in you. That's always the first thing. Always love you and take care of you. And
well, thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Still not going to tell you my story.
I still want your damn story, but everybody's got to reach their own comfort level on things, So
I think for the most part, most people that know me know my story,
Yeah,
know it enough anyway.
Yeah, Rob had the COVID, as everybody knows, and he did the fun COVID coma.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kind where he's the only one that comes off the floor. Everybody else got zipped up. So that kind of story, people.
Yeah,
so it's not
crazy.
Something that, it's not something that everybody could share. And we're all about uplifting our fellow human beings. So I'm just damn glad that he's here today because somebody's got to run the technical stuff of this board here.
I'm going to teach you, man. You're going to go solo.
Yeah. Well, then I'm going to just cut off your oxygen.
You know, all these guys go solo in their projects.
Yeah. Dude, we want just you. We don't want Rob. Too.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It's a piece of cake to run. You can do it, Doug.
Yeah. Well, this podcast is nothing without you, my friend.
Then you got to learn editing.
Yeah, that actually is too. And actually, my son is going to help me.
You have a son that can do it. So
allegedly, yeah. Now he's wanting to teach his dad since he has the skill set. But
there you go. We're all replaceable, Doug.
Yes, we are. The next generation is just pushing us out already. Baby. Get out.
Yep.
That's all I got for today.
Well, we'll have to have your son on, man. He can tell us about his film
Yeah, you know
journey. You know.
Yeah, you know
That'd be
he
pretty
actually podcasted before I ever did.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
he's a trailblazer.
He's ready to go.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Please like and
And
subscribe.
subscribe.
We'll talk to you again soon.
Later.